folks, Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at Iron Factory Burning Slug, otherwise known as not Warpath. So this is Iron Factory's take on Warpath, the mini-bot from the Autobots. This thing is sweet! I got this guy out of the packaging, and I've been down on Iron Factory for the past year or so, but this guy is really making my head turn. And the reason I'm feeling that way is because this feels like a fresh take on Warpath. It's obviously Warpath. I mean, you look at him, he's got a tank barrel sticking out of his chest, for crying out loud. And he's burgundy red and maroon, and look at those green eyes. You just look at them and they say, bang, pow! But this guy is just beefy and chunky in all the right ways, and he feels good. And Vangelis over at TFW 2005 has said that a lot of third-party figures, or a lot of figures lately, haven't had a very good toy feel. And this one definitely has that toy feel to it. For scale, we've got ourselves a Legends class Power of the Primes Decepticon, specifically Wingspan. Nope, I'm sorry, that's Pounce. So you can get an idea of the scale we're dealing at here. The face and head sculpt on Burning Slug work incredibly well. That is definitely Warpath. And the overall aesthetic just works. I mean, look, he has treads for feet. The treads are even just perfect. He comes with 2 accessories, a gun and 2 missile pods that are both incorporated into his vehicle mode. So the gun itself is just this maroon gun that does break apart into several bits, or into 2 bits that will be reincorporated into his vehicle mode. And then the missile pods are stored on his backpack and can be hand carried in use, or if you so wish, you can mount them on his forearms for extra oomph when he punches you in the face. Transformation for this little dude is pretty cool. To start off with, grab the barrel and extend it as far as it'll go. Next, come to the back of the head and flip open this panel. Push the head all the way down into that section and then cover it up. And it doesn't really cover all the way, or it looks like it doesn't. That's because you kind of have to grab the entire backpack and flip it up over the head. And then snap it into place. As you heard, it does take a little bit of force. Now that the head is taken care of, come down to the fists, open up the bottom of the forearms, flip out these little treads that are inside the forearms, and then flip the fists up into the forearms, making sure these little pegs are pointing forward, and then they will peg into place right over the treads, or inside the treads. Next, we're going to go down to the legs, put the legs forward and bend them at their knees, and then fold them out like that. So do that on both sides, like so. Then at this swivel that is just below the knee, turn it 90 degrees, like that. Next, we're going to come back up to the shoulders and unpeg the shoulders from the rest of the torso. Then lift the torso up and accordion it up and over. Once we folded the turret forward, we can then fold the entire rear track section down until they touch the knees of the other section. And they will actually peg into place just inside like this. It's a little bit hard to do, but once you get everything folded up, it should line up correctly, like so. Now we come to the bottom of the figure, kind of fold the toes forward, and that should allow you enough room to get in here and fold these little bit of track out. This is actually the hardest part of the transformation, because if you don't have any nails, there's very little friction that is going to allow you to do that. And then we can fold the treads all the way down, like that. Fold the front sections in, like this. And then we can take these big sections that are on the fronts of the shins, and they will fold out. They're very tight, but they will flip out and peg into those sections right there. Now with these sections flipped around and pegged into place, we can come to the sides of the feet, and these burgundy, or I should say maroon sections, will unpeg, flip down and around, and then will peg into these air holes for the shoulders, like that. And we want to do that on both sides. The reason we're doing all of this, and the reason it was engineered this way, is so that the tank mode doesn't flop about, which is one of the issues I've always had with Iron Factory figures, is they don't peg together all that well. This one, on the other hand, does. Lastly, we want to come inside the turret, or underneath the turret, and flip down the crotch plate like that, and just flip it all the way down. Now remember the gun I was talking about earlier? Well, first thing we're going to do is unpeg it, and then open up this section like that. Open it up like this, and this whole thing will peg into the front of the tank mode, or right there. And it will actually peg in between the two front treads. And this is actually a little bit harder to do than you might think. Oh, also, it'll peg in right there as well. Next up are the missile launchers, which do get pegged together, like so. And then the pegs here peg in to these sections back here, and then the peg holes go there and there. And finally, this little bit. Now that that's done, the little tip of his gun gets pegged into the back of the turret, like that. And then we can put the turret down, peg it into place, make sure that everything is nice and tight, extend the barrel again, and here we have the cutest little murder tank. Oh, I love this tank mode. This tank mode is so cute. Yeah, it's only about the same size as a Sharkticon, but that's fine. I think it's a really, really cool little figure. Really cool little tank mode. No, it doesn't roll around. Yeah, it just kind of scrapes on my table here, but, I mean, it's got full 360-degree movement, especially if you lift it up just a smidge. You can look up and down. It's so good. It's so cool. And plus, you can always, if you feel like it, just kind of tweak it a little bit so you can have Warpath with his face sticking up on top of the turret. It's a really, really nice rendition of Warpath, and man, Hasbro, or any other third party, please make a deluxe class size of this figure. Ooh, even better, Voyager class. And for those wondering, you can totally do a mini tank Gurwalkie type mode. It isn't exactly perfectly balanced, but it works. Burning Soul is a fantastic reimagining of the original Generation 1 Warpath. I really, really, really like this figure. And man, this really makes me want to get a hold of more figures from Iron Factory. I know a lot of reviewers have been really positive on them, while I have been more negative because of my experiences. The Windblade and the original Scorponok figure weren't that great. And man, they've really upped their game. I'm loving this figure. And I'm going to get some more. I do have the Jazz on my review docket here, so I'm going to be shooting a review of him very shortly. But folks, if you can get a hold of Burning Soul, I strongly recommend that you do. I picked this figure up over at thechosenprime.com. It's also available over at bigbadtoystore.com. Links are down in the description. So let me know what you think of this figure. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. As always, I am Baltmatrix. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.